We're here at Low Country Live. We are friends, of course, to all animals. And today, Dr. Ruth Roberts from Sun Dog Cat Moon Veterinary, I love that name, is here to talk about vaccines for your pets, which are one of the critical and which ones we can go without. Dr. Roberts, thank you so much for joining us. Now, our pets need to be vaccinated sometimes every year and then sometimes maybe every other year?
That's right. It just depends on, well, first of all, the age of the pet. So obviously younger pets, puppies and kittens, there's a little bit more frequency to start with. But older pets may not need them every year. There are some vaccinations that do need to be boosted annually, so we're going to work through that a little bit today.
Talk us a little bit about rabies. For one of the reasons my son-in-law and my grandson are having to go through the rabies shots because they came in what was called indirect contact to a rabid fox that was captured. Tell us about what sort of, I know we don't vaccinate the foxes and so forth, but we need to vaccinate, especially rabies, some of our animals as well.
That is the chief concern because rabies is one of those diseases that is almost always fatal, whether it's in their pets, wild animals, or in us. And wildlife is the biggest exposure risk, but certainly dogs and cats can be as well. So the rabies vaccination is available in a 1-year vaccine or a 3-year vaccination. Currently, a 3-year vaccination is recommended after that animal has completed its puppy or kitten series. And the other thing that's interesting is that we know the duration of immunity for some of the vaccinations is much longer than we've been using, but there's actually a challenge study going on looking at how long that rabies vaccination is actually effective.
And there's a study going on right now that's like a 7-year study of possibly rabies vaccination?
That's exactly it. And unfortunately, the initial results, there were two goals for the study. One is to determine how long the actual, if the titer value, which is a blood sample, reflects accurately how well the animal is protected, and then how long. And initially, Dr. Schultz was hoping that he could get a 7-year duration of immunity, meaning he can show that the animals are protected for 7 years. At 4 years, unfortunately, some of the titer values began to drop, and at 5 years, even more have dropped. What is known is that the cell-mediated immunity, which is sort of the global immune system in the body, does offer some protection, but what is not known for certain is that it would protect that animal from a live challenge. So that's kind of the next step, is to figure out if those pets with the dropped titers are actually still protected or not.
Now, with all the animals that you have coming in to your veterinarian clinic and the wonderful works that you do there, what are some of the things that maybe an owner either overlooks, doesn't pay that close attention to when it comes to vaccinations with their animal?
Again, it just depends on what we had been accustomed for so many years to vaccinating every year. And it turns out that at 14 weeks or older, once that puppy or kitten has received that vaccination, they may actually have lifetime protection. And so that's where titers or blood tests can come in handy. So what that shows us is how much antibody that pet has against that particular disease. And so that's a great way to ensure that your pet is protected without actually having to administer the vaccination. And of course, we're concerned about that because vaccines are not totally innocuous. They can cause some serious physical illnesses too.
Wow. Tell us about the cell-mediated immunity. What is that?
So it's sort of the global immune system. It's your ability to respond to threats that are sort of random. So if you cut yourself accidentally, you are going to have some bacteria go in that cut, and your cell-mediated immune system is what allows you to prevent that from being a problem.
Okay. With the animals, all the different animals that you have coming in once again, and you see dogs and cats and so forth, not just with immunizations, but kind of getting away from immunizations a little bit. What are some of the things that maybe owners neglect with taking care of their animals sometimes? Maybe flea control, maybe Lyme's disease?
Interestingly enough, we've gotten a lot more lackadaisical about heartworm prevention.
Yes.
And the issue is that there are several species or little subsets of heartworms that actually have become resistant to some of the heartworm preventives. So because of that, it's become crucial to make sure that heartworm prevention is given every 30 days and that your pet is tested regularly. Unfortunately, we've seen some pets come positive on some questionable, maybe missed doses, maybe not missed doses. So it's imperative to make sure that happens. Unfortunately, in this area, heartworms and mosquito go hand in hand, and right now we have a boon crop of mosquitoes.
They're nasty little boogers, aren't
Yes, they are.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Dr. Ruth, thank you so much for
My
joining us.
pleasure, Tom. Thanks so much.
Appreciate that. We've got more coming up in just a moment, but first let's take it over to John Bruce.
Trial Tuesday.